semi-final action here at the Players' Championship. John Higgins, the first man through to tomorrow's title match after a jaw-dropping win over the world number 1, Judd Trump. Tonight sees the world champion, Zhao Xintong, bidding for a career 5th ranking final, take on the 12-time ranking event champion, Mark Allen. 6 the magic number once again. Not much to go on from the head-to-head. Allen leading 2-1. The most recent meeting came in this season's Champion of Champions, actually in round 1. Zhao Xintong winning by whitewash, and notably, Mark Allen only scored 1 point in that whole game. So it was very, very one-sided. You just get the feeling this won't be the same this evening. Tough one to call, Matthew.
Yeah, really looking forward to this match. Only just recovered from this afternoon.
Mark Allen, sir.
Well, what a match that was. And John Higgins did what he does best with a fantastic clearance. You know, sometimes you think he can't do it again, but he always does, doesn't he?
It's hard to really put into words the measure of that man, isn't it? You know, there really are no words for him.
Yeah, like I said, it's every time he does it, and then we've seen it today. No, we can't do it again, surely. But no, the guy is something else when it comes to those clinch clearances under the utmost pressure. You know, especially what happened the frame before when he had match ball in the pink. Most of us would just crumble, but John always steps up to the mark and produces the magic.
Well, if our match here this evening goes anywhere close to the levels of drama we witnessed earlier on, tonight, folks, we'll be in for a big treat.
Thank you.
Feels like a bit of a clash of styles, this one. We've got the ice-cool, very hard to beat, rock-solid Mark Allen against the free-flowing, not a care in the world, Zhao Xintong. Who will cancel out the other? And I suppose, Matthew, if you look at the different styles of these two players, what can we expect from this match?
It's a difficult one to call, really. Mark would like to keep Zhao, you know, quiet early doors, and just stick with him, because we all know how well Zhao can run away from you, with his scoring. He wins frames in 6-7 minutes, and it's tough to play against. But we all know how good Mark Allen scores. So yeah, it's a real tough one to pick. But I feel as though if Mark Allen can stick with him, in the first 5 or 6 frames, and when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, you always feel like Mark Allen's got the advantage.
Well, the first mistake has come from the world champion, missing the thin edge on the safety shot. And worse yet, leaving the free ball. So Mark Allen looking to get amongst the business end of this table.
Six.
Yeah, he's just come up a little bit short. He wanted to be straight on this red next to the black so he could play for the black in the opposite corner. So he'll have to play this with a bit more pace, try and get up for a blue or bar colour.
Set.
Yeah, he just come up about 4 or 5 inches too short on this red. So it's an awkward shot if he wants to keep on this break going. Sorry.
Mark
So
Allen.
not to beat.
No.
Just chasing his cue ball round for a moment there, Mark Allen, and eventually has paid the price. So the chance now falls to Zhao Xintong, of course, here off the back of lifting the World Grand Prix title out in Hong Kong, bidding for back-to-back ranking finals.
What?
Appearing here in what's only his 7th ranking event semi-final. Not very big numbers, really, when you consider he's already a UK and world champion.
Yeah, really shocked by
6.
by that stat. You'd have thought it'd have been a lot more, but yeah, he's just starting to produce his best snooker, in the last 12 months, I think.
7.
But he's so impressive, and the way he glides around the table, it looks like there's not a care in the world. And yeah, he is a joy to watch.
Well, he plays the game how we all wish we could play the game, doesn't he? You just look at him and think, well, maybe this game is easier than I make it out to be. It isn't. He's just incredibly special.
Yeah, that's right. He just looked like he's in the local club having a knock on his own with no one there. And that's an art, I think Ronnie O'Sullivan's the same, with just gets down and plays the shot. Yeah, it's
15.
a very special talent to have.
$22.
Well, he's just come up a little awkward here. Okay, he may can pop the red along the top cushion, but holding for the black would be difficult, and getting out for blue would also be, so it might be elsewhere. Just seeing if any of the reds pass to the pockets. Well, if he plays this red along the top cushion, he may have to inject some pace into it. Makes the pocket smaller.
Zhao Xintong. 22.
And in the end, never really threatened the pocket.
Yeah, it's a good chance here for Mark. Looks like he might play for the black in the same pocket, or just play up for the blue. Yeah, it's up for the blue, I think.
What?
Yeah, it's not bad. He's got a nice angle, just to play a delicate shot to go into the pack of reds. And that's absolutely perfect.
6.
Of course, Mark Allen already has his hands on some silverware this season. Lifted the English Open title, beating Zhou Yulong 9-8 in the final. And I don't think anyone could begrudge him that title. It was absolute graft all week. Came through
7.
umpteen deciders. And even he himself said in an interview that he wouldn't want it to be like that every week.
12.
He would like to play the game differently to how things went down that week in Brentwood. But the game is so hard and sometimes the balls don't allow.
30.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I think Mark's got the best B game on tour. You know, he doesn't have to play well to win matches, and yeah, that's a good talent to have. And you know, Mark Selby's similar. If you're not scoring, because you can't score all the time, and if your safety and match play is good, then you know it's just
20.
it makes the game a lot easier.
Well, that previous shot has gone wrong. Just looking for the faintest of contacts to the middle red there, just to bring the 3 into play. Just caught the top one full ball, so but for anything adventurous here, it's going to be end of break.
Yeah, that's so frustrating as a snooker player. You know, he's had a couple of chances in this first frame, and it's always nice to get off the mark with a decent break and just settle yourself down.
Mark Allen, 20.
I think tonight this is going to be the biggest challenge for the world champion, to compete tactically with Mark Allen. Very streetwise, knows every trick in the book. Of course, Zhao Xintong's instinct is see ball, pot ball. That's not always available. Although having said that, Zhao Xintong came through his quarter-final match, beating Sean Murphy, and played a fabulous tactical game. Really had Sean in all sorts of trouble at times in that match. So he can mix it with the best in the world.
Another good chance for Mark. Very important for him to take full advantage of this. The ball's situated really nice, so you'd expect to go on and win the frame.
1.
Again, though, that first shot wasn't played particularly well. Just a little too much angle on this blue for comfort. Well, he's had to play a little cute one here, and he's played it very nicely.
6.
Imperative there to just avoid the first red coming down.
Set. 40. $15. $22. $20.
Yeah, so that black puts him 48 points ahead. Just a red and a colour
30.
to leave Zhao leading snookers.
$30.
Well, frame ball is in. Now let's see if this pink respots. Mark Allen concerned that he may have covered the red that he was
37.
playing on. And there he has. That was quite a strange error there from Mark. He had a lot of room to play with, but... Okay, 55 points in front, one snooker to tie.
Mark Allen, 37.
It's amazing, isn't it, how often that one extra ball isn't potted in a match, and some pain may be inflicted to Mark Allen here if Zhao Xintong can somehow get back into this frame.
Yeah, it's so annoying as a snooker player. You know, you've won the frame. Mark will be fuming with himself there. Yes, he should win the frame still, but
1.
it's an extra few minutes sat in his chair when he should have won the frame by now.
So,
Well, in taking the pink, it's now 2 snookers to win, so a little bit more of a lifeline there for Mark Allen.
8. $40. Zhao Xintong.
Well,
40.
failing to get the snooker in behind the yellow. He was so impressive last night, Mark Allen, in his victory over Mark Selby. To go 5-0 up against Selby at any stage is, well, quite incredible, really, considering how tough Mark Selby is. So Allen will be feeling good. But it's a different sort of task tonight for Mark Allen. Zhao Xintong, one of the most naturally gifted players we've ever seen. On any given day, able to knock them in off the lampshades. Mark Allen's task tonight is to find a way to contain this boy.
Blue ball.
But that one was a long way away.
Zhao Xintong, 1.
Yeah, looking at Zhao's face there, he looked confused. They normally hit the back of the pocket at 100 mile an hour, so... Yeah, that was a long way away. Yeah, that wasn't easy, that red. Got close to it, but no damage done.
It's incredible to think, actually, Matthew. 12 months ago, myself and Zhao Xintong were actually playing on the Q Tour together. You know, in that time, he became world champion. This season, he won the 167 Golden Ball event out in Saudi. Grand Prix champion as well. In that time, I've had a birthday, Christmas, and now we get to enjoy him play this evening.
Oh, brilliant. Let me just get my breath back a minute. No, he is something special, this boy. Yeah, I remember the Q Tour. I think did he play in all 3 or 4 and won every one and have about 25 maximums that season? Yeah, we always knew he had a bit of talent.
Well, he stuck out like a sore thumb, really, because obviously the secondary tour, the Q Tour, is predominantly played in clubs. You know, no crowds, just one man and his dog. We're all battling it out, and yeah, he really did stand out like a sore thumb there, a class above the rest.
Yeah, but I suppose he grew up with that in China, didn't he? You know, playing in the clubs. So he's got used to all conditions, you know, over the years. So yeah, he is something else. And that's the Zhao Xintong special. It's just amazing how often he makes them pots. You know, it's hard to believe, isn't it, Stephen? He makes them look like they're over the hole.
Well, yesterday I was hitting a few balls up in the practice room myself and saw Zhao Xintong come into the practice room ahead of his quarter-final match, and he just chucked the balls out, you know, quite open, set up a long red and put the cue ball maybe 1 inch, 2 inch off the ball cushion, just dropped it in first shot. It would take most of us a couple of hours to even go near that sort of shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the red on. I'd be playing safe.
Well, that wasn't intended. Trying to send the cue ball in and out of ball, back down for the reds, so end of break for Zhao Xintong.
Zhao Xintong, 7.
Well, more of an attacking safety shot there from Zhao Xintong. A lot of balls moved. Just wonder whether Alan will entertain the thoughts of attempting this long red.
looks like he's got away with it a little bit, so quite fortunate there. Unless this bottom red goes. Yeah, looks very tight.
One.
Yeah, it's a good pot. Yeah, he's on the blue, but he'll have to do a lot of travelling with the cue ball to get on his next red. This is not straightforward.
And he's got quite a few targets to avoid near the baulk line if he is planning on going the scenic route here.
Zhao Xintong, 1.
Well, he holds his hand up, and at first glance, there's no damage done. Mark Allen with no pot available. But one thing Mark Allen is, he's incredibly disciplined. And he won't be pushing the boat out one bit this evening. He'll be looking at any given opportunity to put his opponent in big trouble. Ask the question of him.
Yeah, he caught that red a lot too thin. Just, he hasn't settled yet. It doesn't matter how good you are. You know, once we don't make a few breaks early on, it's difficult.
One. Six.
He's on this red next to the black spot. Just have to screw off the bottom red to get back on the colour. So it's a decent chance.
Seven.
And he's just paved the way there for the blacks to go back on its own spot in moving those reds. So this break is slowly starting to materialise. Albeit the reds, they look quite nicely spread, but they're actually all covering one another. So it's a bit of a puzzle, this, for Zhao Xintong to try and solve.
Forty.
I think he'll go up for the blue here. He didn't want to pot the pink, because that will he won't be able to pot the red next to
15.
the pink spot. But he's come up shy, so he needs a couple of decent shots here to get back in prime position.
Well, he possesses a tremendous amount of cue power. And he's going to need every bit of it here if he's going to send this cue ball in and out of baulk. 2 straight. So just taking his medicine. And now, big shot coming up. Red to right corner. He's going to have to screw off the other reds. Well played.
21.
Again, there's a lot of players that would have been terrified to take that sort of red on. He didn't blink. Well, would you believe it, after such a good pot on the red,
Zhao Xintong.
to miss the
21.
pink. And once again, Zhao Xintong leaving Mark Allen with nothing to go at.
Yeah, but Mark Allen wouldn't mind that. You know, he thought the frame was over. So he can play a good safety here. Yeah, that's a good length.
Our colleague Alan McMahon has made a very telling point earlier on in the week regarding Zhao Xintong and his tactical side of the game. Sometimes it's not about trying to be too clever and really nail your opponent. Just get the basics right. Just find a return, and that was an example of one there. Zhao Xintong. Okay, it was a little bit pacey with the cue ball, but ultimately it was safe. Left Mark Allen with no option but to play a return himself. Pick that one out. And that is just where he excels so well. Anything from distance, you just fancy him. What a pot that was. Well, from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Well, it was an example of the last couple of shots he played when he potted the amazing red. I suppose sometimes you take for granted the easy ones. But that first red was incredible again. He made that look very easy. That was a very difficult shot, so another good chance here for Mark.
So tough queuing down over another ball. You're absolutely right. That was so well played from Mark Allen. Perfect on the blue as well. Now all of a sudden this feels like quite a big visit to the table. Zhao Xintong has had a number of chances in this frame. And there really isn't anything safe on this table now.
40. $15. 20. 21.
I think Mark will play delicate cannon to the red on the left hand side. And now you'd
28.
definitely expect him to go on to win the frame from this visit.
29.
And if anything, it's just laying down the law to his opponent. But if you make those basic mistakes, if those unforced errors come, they will be
36.
punished tonight. But he's missed the red. Well, where did that come from?
Mark Allen, 36.
Absolutely poised to make what would have been a big clearance here. That's a poor shot.
1.
Yeah, that was a bad miss from Mark, especially at this critical time in the match, especially with all of the balls Zhao's missed. We could be looking back at that later.
And it's hard to know what was going through his mind. I just wonder if he allowed himself for a split second to think that it was a big opportunity to land an early blow. Maybe that just distracted him.
Forty. 16. 19. 23.
Well, he isn't going to miss this blue. So it'll feel like a frame that's gotten away from Mark Allen.
28.
And Mark Allen has seen enough. So a mini crash. Zhao Xintong may feel like he's gotten away with one there. Missed a couple of chances in that frame. A few elementary mistakes unpunished, though, by Mark Allen. Mark Allen, of course, won this event in 2024, beating Zhang Anda in the final. The first year this event actually came to Telford, so good memories of the place. And you could tell that last night in his victory over Mark Selby. Looked very, very comfortable out there under the lights. Well, this time it's Mark Allen's turn to only just reach the baulk line with his safety shot. And again, Zhao Xintong on the prowl for a long red. And on table, he finds it very difficult to refuse anything. And that's why.
What?
Yeah, well, I have to laugh sometimes when he just knocks them in. Look at the cue power he had in that white as well. It's another fantastic shot.
Well, he's 5 from 7 on the long ones this evening, Zhao Xintong. That's just a hair over the 70% from distance. And Matthew, a lot of players in practice set themselves targets, i.e. meet the 70-80% on the long balls. The difference is, it's not easy to do it out there. He makes it look very easy.
Yeah, it's like he just expects to get them all the time. It's incredible. You know, I just laugh sometimes. It's not. Yeah, I run out of words to say about his long potting, but yeah, he's in a perfect position here to grant a chance to make a big break again.
$21. $22.
Well, we've just highlighted the red that Zhao Xintong would like to get rid of ASAP. That's a ball that is just impeding the black to both corner pockets at the minute. He's played down on that red now.
27.
Played for an area, but ideally wants to take this one, and he is doing. But he's missed it, and he's missed it by quite some way, actually. That's an unexpected mistake.
Yeah, once again, you know, he's potted an amazing long red, and he's missed, you know, a straightforward red there. So it's an unusual performance here from Zhao at the minute.
Well, that's a great shot that Mark Allen has found there. His concern was that it would have been quite difficult to cover that red over the right corner pocket, so one way to resolve that problem was to knock it in. Great shot. There was so much distance between the first red that he made contact with and the red by the corner pocket. It wasn't hanging. That had to be quite precise.
Set.
Yeah, that was a well-judged cannon from Mark. That wasn't easy at all, so he's back in prime position.
Now he's got the chance here to stun into the 4 reds above the black. He'll need them in play at some point. Chose to play the more conservative route. Red by the pink will pot to right middle.
22.
Takes a very measured approach to break building, Mark Allen. He prides himself in a very, very tight cue ball. Keeps it under close quarters. This time takes the chance to go into the 4. And he needed that red to pull up to middle. I don't think it has.
30.
And what's he on? Oh, can he just cut this red back? It's very, very thin.
$31. 36.
Well, it's been far from easy these last few shots for Mark Allen. That was a cute little positional shot that he had to play there on the blue.
$37.
And now back in prime position. 17 points to the
40.
good. Mark Allen doesn't need to concern himself with the red by the red right side cushion.
$45.
Yeah, that's all the hard work done, getting those reds into play, so should be pretty straightforward to get over the line in this frame.
$51. $52. $58.
So 31 the lead, red colour red. And it'll be Mark Allen back in front in this match.
$59.
Yeah, played that nicely.
Can you show us the missed red from Xintong?
So just
65.
this red to leave Zhao did in snookers.
$66.
And this was the missed red from Zhao Xintong when he was nicely in. It was the correct red to play on. Just didn't aim it as he expected to and missed the pot by quite some way. Mark
70.
Allen has stepped up and punished him.
73.
And with that red disappearing, every chance of the century now from Mark Allen.
$80. 82. 85. 89.
You can't do much
90.
more than this.
100.
The first century break of this semi-final, a 26th of the season for Mark Allen. And what a time to make it a fantastic break of 107. First century break of the semi as well, a break of 107. Played at a very brisk 18 seconds a shot, that century break. And there's the average shot time for the match itself. Allen at 21 seconds, and Matthew, that's about where he wants to play the game. As Zhao Xintong lines up another long one.
As we see another long red going. Yeah, you're right about Mark Allen. He has slowed his game up over the past couple of seasons, but I've always liked him at the 2021 mark. You know, gets in, scores. He looks a lot more fluent and a lot more dangerous.
Well, someone that
Zhao
is
Xintong.
not looking all
West.
that fluent so far this evening. Yes, the long ones are going in, but that man there, Zhao Xintong, okay, that green was far from easy. But look at that pot success down at 81%. That just is not going to be good enough tonight if that continues.
One. Touching ball, please declare.
So touching ball on the black means Mark Allen can nominate the black and play away from it.
Black ball.
There is the black nominated, so looking to try and get that cue ball into deep balk.
Mark Allen. One.
An interesting decision there from Mark Allen. Didn't for 1 second have a look at the red close to the left corner pocket. No risk snooker, but hasn't played the safety shot well at all. And with hand on table, I think we all know what's coming. Well, hold the back page, he's missed one.
One.
Yeah, that was a poor positional shot there from Mark, so he'll have to leave the next red with a bit of distance. So he should get it, but he should have been in a better position than this.
Six. Seven.
Yeah, that was nicely cued. So he's back in prime position once again.
Now the pink may pop to right corner, but it's of no value to Mark Allen at the minute, because if its own spot is occupied, the pink will then head down to the black spot, which is available, and thus tie up both pink and black. So he'd love to somehow bring the pink spot into play. The danger with this approach is that can happen
30.
if you don't get perfectly positioned from every red. The break becomes very much hard work.
Yeah, it was a good shot from Mark, but still needs
18.
a good pot on this red to keep the break going. This is a tough little shot.
And that was a really nice piece
90.
of ball striking there from Mark Allen. You know, if you was to shut your eyes and just listen to the sound that that shot made, you could predict that the cue ball would be about perfect. It was that sweetly struck.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's the shot of the night for me. So, great chance here for Mark
24.
to take the lead going into this mid-session interval.
Oh, but as well as he struck that previous red,
25.
that was quite the contrast. Had to get top side of the blue there. One by one, he was picking off the reds by the pink spot, slowly opening this break up. Needs this cue ball to run. It's a good line.
30.
Well, you do feel he's now one good shot away from possibly winning this frame. This red does open the pink spot.
$31. 35. $36.
Once again, a little short of pace. Yeah, you won't be happy with that. Just can't find the right positional shot to get him in perfect position. So another good shot on the blue required. And played to perfection.
41. $42.
Yeah, that was really well played. Lovely line and length on the cue ball for Mark Allen. Well, it's been hard work, hasn't it, to get to this point? He's had to really knuckle down in this break. He's pulled off a few magnificent positional shots.
48. $49.
Just looking for one more red. Doesn't want to disturb the three by the green, so his sights will be set on a path to the red beneath the black. And once again, this is very well played. If that cue ball pulls up,
54.
so doesn't need a colour from this red, just drop the red along the cushion. Well played.
55.
Wow, what a break this has been. You know, he's been in and out of position all this break and recovered the situation so many times. And yeah, it's very impressive from Mark.
Well, he's shown so much determination here to just not lie down, not let this break come to an end.
Yellow ball.
Chance to chip a colour safe now and just get a little bit more insurance. Fabulous visit from Mark Allen.
Mark Allen. 55.
So it's one snooker to tie for Zhao Xintong. And that's on the basis that he takes blacks with reds. And the 2 reds by the green, out of play. Well, this is quite risky. Needs that cue ball to run true. Didn't really want to bring those 2 reds into play, but obviously didn't have any other options from the single red that he fancied. So the world champion has just won that little safety exchange. He, of course, needed those 2 safe reds in play, but Mark Allen did the hard work for him. So he'll be taking red and black here.
8.
And may look to leave the snooker on the final red. Remember, it's 1 snooker to tie, so effectively 2 snookers, really, to win the frame without the need of a respot. There's a couple of big
16.
targets on this table.
Zhao Xintong, 60.
Yeah, he's played that really well.
Well, that really does now change the dynamic of this frame. So Zhao Xintong, with a black from this final red, can force the respot. Does have the chance to nestle in behind the blue as well. That's what he's tried, and he's played it well.
I think he was settling for that, Stephen, would he?
Clever little shot that he's looking at here, potentially. Try and chip the yellow away from the side rail to control the object ball. And I'll be reasonably pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, he just caught that safety a little bit thin. I think in the back of his mind, he was thinking about the double kiss. So a chance for Zhao to get Mark back in trouble. That's a poor shot.
The difference now with that yellow ball being in play, should Zhao Xintong get a chance to pop the red and get back for the black, he may opt to try and clear the table and hedge his bets on the respotted black. But of course, unless he can guarantee getting on that black, he'll continue to seek the snooker. Again, just going back to that shot Mark Allen played earlier on in the frame when he elected to develop the two reds that were safe by the green. Anything but bring the two reds into play for me, but of course Mark Allen saw otherwise. Just gave Zhao Xintong a glimmer of hope of getting back into this frame. And now he is in it.
Yeah, will he be tempted with this difficult red down the cushion? Big shot. Oh, it's a great pot. The only thing good that came out of Mark Allen's last shot was knocking the green onto the side cushion, so he's still got a bit of work to do.
Eight.
Well, he's so aggressive, Zhao Xintong. I wonder if he'll allow himself to be seduced by the potential double on the green. The difficulty would be getting from green to brown with the cue ball, but the double is an option.
10.
Maybe not now from where the cue ball has come to rest.
Zhao Xintong. 10.
So it effectively becomes a green ball frame now for both. Nothing else is safe.
And you feel now, Stephen, that it's become a huge frame, don't you? Because at one point, Mark Allen looked to have had this frame tied up. Oh, what a result he's had there. Full ball snooker. So we need a bit of luck getting out of this snooker. Otherwise we could be going down to a respot. Yeah, he'll settle for that. If it wasn't Xintong, I mean, because he knocks his in all day, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think even by his standards, that might be a stretch too far. We wouldn't put it past him. In a situation like this, it's all about the object ball. That was a good example. Paid no attention to the cue ball there. It was just get the green ball safe. Try and buy yourself a shot. Oh, and again, this is not good from Mark Allen.
Now, will he be tempted for the up and down? I don't think it's a bad shot choice because he hasn't got an easy safety on this green. So it's decision time.
It's quite an unusual scenario, this, isn't it? Not the sort of position you're faced with all that often. But again, deciding to take no chances, Mark Allen. He was incredibly fortunate that the pink somewhat came to his rescue with his previous shot. Zhao Xintong had to quietly swerve the cue ball. So on we go. Well, this green, no doubt, is a tempter for Zhao Xintong. About the most awkward place the cue ball could be. Incredibly difficult. And that's why he's refused it. Oh, and that is an absolute belter of a flick off the pink. But for the flick on that pink, he'd played a bad shot, really. The green ball was well available. It's been 16 minutes since Mark Allen made that hard-fought 55 break.
Foul. A miss. Zhao Xintong full.
Wow, what a turnaround in this frame. And now it becomes even bigger. It's he's in so much trouble here. And the thing is, even now, if he hits it now, Zhao can win the frame without a respot.
And he's not guaranteed to get this safe, Mark Allen. This isn't an easy escape. But he'll take that. Well, I just wonder, is Zhao Xintong looking at the cross double here? I think he can get enough past the brown. Oh, he's got plenty of room. The cross double's on. Well, Mark Allen's patience rewarded.
Free.
Well, he's avoided a mini scare there, I think it's fair to say. Zhao Xintong showing us his battling qualities to no prevail.
Mark Allen, set.
So it's 2 snookers to tie on this blue. In potting it. Chance to play for them from the pink. 2 snookers to win.
Bye.
Very difficult task with just the black ball available to lay in behind.
Zhao Xintong, 5.
Mark Allen with the in or over approach from here on out. At any given opportunity, that pink will be tracking towards any pocket, making that man's task much more difficult. And the nod of the concession finally comes. So it was a disappointing...
Ice break 28, pot success 80%. All these numbers need to go up. But we saw in the previous round against Sean Murphy, you know, he can suddenly find inspiration, and then, you know, 3 frames have gone by in half an hour. That can happen. Mark Allen will be aware of that, but he'll be happy enough with how things are sitting at the moment. Well, maybe this is exactly the chance he's been looking for to get going this evening.
One.
He's had 3 centuries in the tournament, including that 142, of course.
Six.
And in terms of scoring this season, only Mark Selby has made more
Seven.
centuries.
Good say.
Yeah, it's more the kind of frame that I was kind of suggesting at half time there that you can get on board with. One shot from the opponent, a mistake to boot, and he can get about his work.
$20. $21. $28.
Of course, he's been in worse spots than this during the tournament. 5-2 down to Elliot Slesser in round 1.
29. $36. $37. $44. $45.
Yeah, straight wasn't ideal, but pink will do as a alternative. Now then, he might play the one nearest the pack if he can get to it, which obviously he
15.
can't. So this next shot on the colour is going to be key,
52.
and this is where he excels at getting the cue ball spinning off the back of them. Back towards him, but not all the way to the cushion. Beautifully played. That's a fabulous touch.
59.
Yeah, absolutely delightful. So now it's about focus. Already big improvements. It's a terrific shot
60.
as well. This is good stuff from Xintong. Exactly what he was looking for. Exactly what he needed after the interval. Take the game to Mark Allen. Remind everybody what he can do.
$67.
Just needed one chance in this frame. This is frame ball. That's more like it
60.
from the world champ. It's been
70.
a quick kill, as you can see. We're not even at the 6-minute mark for this frame.
75. $81. 82. 89.
Well, with the 107 from Mark Allen in this match, we've had 18 centuries in the tournament.
90.
Looks likely we're going to see another one here, and this could be the start of the sustained comeback. To be fair, he fought hard in that fourth frame, didn't he? He did get the snooker, and even when just pink and black on, he played on, but didn't ultimately win the frame. But he didn't just sort of throw the towel in.
98.
But this is his best game, and what a great break it's been. Black for the century.
$105. 106. 130.
Let's hope he clears the lot, because if ever a century deserved the total clearance, it's this one. Every single shot has been on the money.
180. 122. 127. 133.
Perfection.
A thing of beauty. Zhao Xintong, 3-2 second semi-final of the Players' Championship. Xintong with that 140 total clearance. He was 13 seconds a shot for that break. He wasn't running around the table, was he? But the cue ball was always in basically the exact right spot. So every shot he was bang in position.
Even there with the long red, I know that he missed it thick, but there was no thought whatsoever of the red in the middle of the table that he was probably going to leave.
Go. 6. 7.
A shake of the head tells us that he can't avoid the cannon. So he has to judge this correctly. Yeah, okay. But
30.
he won't be fancying the black off the spot from near the right cushion all that much that he may be forced to play on. Yeah, trying as hard as he could to get back up table.
14.
That's not bad. Strange thing is about the charm of the break that we saw
90.
from Xintong in frame 5, it might help Mark Allen, because players do at times feed off one another. When one slips into gear, they tend to follow suit. Not always, but quite often.
$20. $27.
It's 2 years since Mark Allen won this title, and of course on the 2-year system the points come off. So as he referenced last night, his crucible place not absolutely secure, but with the points he's earning here and the fact that he looks good for the Tour Championship now, I think he'll be okay. We saw Neil Robertson, didn't we, a couple of years ago, to go to qualify and he didn't make it through.
35.
Because it's a very different feeling at the English Institute of Sport. There's no glamour there, I can assure you. It's real dogfight to get through to the TV stages of the game's biggest event. Of course, Xintong won 4 matches to do exactly that last year and then won the whole thing.
36.
It's interesting. I think Stephen sitting in the green room watching this would be surprised, to say the least, that he didn't move the 6 together. Had the angle to play the punch cannon. The thing about it was he would have been guaranteed to be on one. Well, that is now not the case. There it was. He had enough room, clearly, from that replay. And there you go.
49.
Whatever he tried, it's gone completely wrong. And I think the punch cannon was definitely the shot to play a few ago.
Mark Allen. 14. Okay.
Well, after that shot, the Reds are now open, which of course favours the man trailing. We've just seen what he can do when he gets any sort of chance in the last frame.
Can't help but think that that was the wrong way to play it, the aggressive way, because he couldn't avoid the cannon. I know it's easy after the event, but it did look like it was guaranteed, so Mark shouldn't have a problem mopping these up.
Six. Seven. Third set. Fourteen.
So this is frame ball for a 4-2 advantage. They'll be relieved after it went wrong initially.
20. 21.
Does seem to like these Players Series events, though. He has won, of course, he's won the World Grand Prix. He's been runner-up in the Tour Championship.
27. 28. 35. 36.
'Mark Allen turns 40 tomorrow.
43.
So if he's in the final, what a way to spend it, taking on John Higgins
44.
in a big snooker final. Imagine telling him that as a boy. That's what he'd be doing on his 40th birthday.
51. 52.
He's not hanging about either, is he? 22 seconds a shot for the match. Xintong at 20. Kevin Dabrowski, the referee, being put through his
56.
paces.
58. $61. 65.
Well, there's a bit of a noise
better.
there, but the
65.
frame's well and truly won. 65.
There's a mistake. I say mistake. A little bit unfortunate to leave the one he played. That's all part of it.
One.
But the old habits, I say old of about an hour and a half ago, coming back to plague the world champion. It's like if he's going to falter at all, it's early on in a break. Once he's up and running, no problem.
One.
Pink looks like it's going to go on the black spot. We'll find out in a second. No bad thing if it does.
60.
Well, there is this one red that does pot to left corner. The others are covering one another. But not close in the end.
Mark Allen, 60. One.
He was determined to pot something, and he did. So he's back in, and it's a very open table now.
Five.
Doesn't look like he can avoid the cannon potting this. We'll soon find out. As if he can glance the one on the left of the triangle, then he's okay. But he couldn't. That's
6.
not too bad. Black is obviously an option. It'd be handy if he could reach it. And the pink spot being in the open helps the cause.
30.
Most snooker players are a product of the environment that they grew up in the game, that is. And I think that shot that David referenced, the red that he was determined to pot one, is a case in point. The culture of snooker that he grew up in was basically about winning the frame as quickly as possible, regardless of the consequences of what you potentially might leave. That's just the way that he plays. It's great to watch.
Yeah, it's one of the interesting things about the sport, I think. The different approaches you see. Some more cautious than others, some all out attacking. They're all capable of winning any tournament. And indeed, every ranking event this season has been won by someone different. He's left this short, though. So he's going to have to recover here. Yeah, I think that counts as a recovery.
28.
Quite honestly, I don't know why he just didn't stun it and play for black. He wasn't going to miss it anyway. Played it as a shot to nothing. So cannon to completely retrieve it. Not perfect, but okay.
30. 35.
I guess the point is that the sport in China is newer than it is in the UK. We heard Matthew Stevens talking about Welsh snooker. He would have learned the old school game very early because, of course, they've been steeped in snooker for decades in South Wales.
41.
But there's no doubt where the current boom is taking place, and they have the world champion.
42. 149.
So 40 the lead with the blue, red and a colour. And he's looking like 4-3. Not quite been the same break as the 140 in terms of cue ball control. He's had to recover a couple
55.
of times, but if he can knock this red in with a colour, then, as I say, should be one in it again. Wriggled in, didn't it? But it's in.
Sorry. 56. $62.
Just enough on for a century.
63. $69. 70. 76. 78.
'em. I still haven't made up my mind if I was still playing out there and got a chance to play him.
81.
Would I watch him or would I not? It's great fun watching him, but when you're in the chair that Mark Allen is, it's so intimidating. Yes. Coming to the boil beautifully now, this semi-final.
90.
Bingham Black for his 57th century of the season, just 4 behind Mark Selby.
96.
So again, a terrific.
I'm not saying that red that Mark has just missed
1.
was in any way easy, because it wasn't, but I wonder if the intimidation factor is just beginning to have an impact on this match overall.
Six. Seven. 30.
This feels like a really big shot now with the rest. He has the perfect angle to just dab it in, and he's going to be nicely on the black. It's not a certainty, but it's a big one. Well played.
14.
The signs are beginning to look a little ominous. I know he's still behind, but he's the man in possession of confidence and form. He doesn't look like missing all of a sudden since the interval.
21. $22. $29. 30. $37. 38.
Yeah, so the fact that it's a nice target, you'd fancy him under normal circumstances there to play the split on the pack. That's gone a bit awkward.
43.
Just because of that red adjacent to the pink, it was a lovely target, and he's given himself a problem to deal with.
$44.
Yeah, and it comes a cropper. Let's end the break. Mark didn't suffer earlier from a similar position where he didn't go into the pack. Remains to be seen whether Xintong will pay the price.
So, Xintong, 44.
Well, if he was trying to put the black safe there, it didn't work, did it?
Thank you.
Yeah, good safety shot. The problem is he's got to trust to a little bit of luck here not to push a red over that left corner. He's going to cannon one of them. The other reds. It just depends where it goes. That'll do for now. Well, maybe the worst shot that Mark has played in the match tonight, but he's gotten away with it, has he? In a fashion he has. This is where the scoreboard doesn't mean a lot to this fella. See long ball, pot long ball. Not everyone would play this, but he's a bit different, isn't he?
Well, I remember his highest break going to the interval was 28, but he's since had 140, 103, looks more confident, and they're going in now. And of course, that energy he's bringing, he's bound to have an effect on his opponent.
Six.
That's since the interval, the pot success. I mean, Allen's still in the 90s, but Zhao Xintong up at 96%.
Third C. Fourth C.
This red then for 4-4. And for the second time today, we have a thriller on our hands.
20.
He's good value, though, for this comeback. He's played a lot better, that's obvious, but Mark Allen has made a few mistakes, and I guess the two go together. Because Xintong now breathing down his neck.
28.
It's interesting, the shot he played Allen, he didn't apologise. He'd covered the two easy reds, but the reason is because he'd left a difficult one, and he probably thought he was going to knock this in. When it went in, we had the perfect view of him in the seat. He didn't react. He just expected him to pot it.
35.
And when you expect your opponent to knock everything in, it's got to have a quite serious effect on your thinking.
$42. 43. 50. 51. 56. 58. Zhao Xintong, 58.
Well, it's another frame that's been dominated by 3 of the 4 frames since the interval, 2 with centuries. But let's see, the pressure can transfer, of course, once you get level. Been a bit of a game of 2 halves though. Look at the average frame time before the interval, it was nearly 22 minutes. And then since the interval, it's under 12 minutes.
A fabulous pot, that's unfortunate. Now, he sort of hummed and hawed before he took on the long red itself. What will he do about the blue?
Mark Allen,
Yeah,
20.
as I was saying at the interval, it kind of suits Mark if the frames are stretched out and elongated early on, I think. As I think evidenced by, I know that Xintong has won them, but as David was explaining, the duration of frames since the interval. And Mark has gotten his reward. If he has the red in the right half of the table, he's in business. It's tight. Might be able to get it with a tracer right-hand side. The problem with the one on the left, obviously, is that he can't avoid a cannon. The good news about it, providing he gets the pot, of course the black goes to the right corner. So it might be an option.
What?
Well played.
Mark Allen,
But from now on, they've all got to drop.
Yeah, it's like the gauntlet's been laid down by his opponent. Well, I'm going to get them, so you're going to have to. We'll see, though. As I say, now he's level. Pressure may just come to bear on him. Not a lot of sign of it, though, is there? Just knocks that in nicely.
Yeah, just one shot away from good position. Does he just drift the cue ball and play the natural cannon? Yeah. The 2 reds right of the pink spot just separated. It looks a natural cannon to get one of them full ball. Let's see if he plays it. He didn't. And it's gone quite badly wrong.
6.
The cutback might be on. But again, he's going to have to trust to good fortune. And he hasn't had any.
Zhao Xintong 6. Mark Allen 4.
Here's a shot now. Can he find the middle of the cue ball? This is what Mark works on for 2, 3, maybe even 4 hours a day. This one shot, that's what all the practice is for. Spotted cue ball, all that business, trying to find the middle of it. Can he find the middle when it matters the most? Shot. Okay, the black's gone up table. But that was a lovely piece of ball striking. Just trying to find the middle of the target. Couldn't quite manage it.
Green ball. Mark Allen 1.
Well, it was an effective safety from Allen, and it's forced the error. Quite a big one from just under the bulk cushion. Catches this red and Allen back in. Or so he hopes.
One.
Mark Allen, a very tough competitor. He referenced himself, all those deciders he won at the English Open, including one from 4-0 down to Elliot Slesser. Yeah, he won 5 in a row, including the final against Zhou Yilong, from 8-7 down to win that title, which of course was a big step towards then getting in this event with the £100,000 first prize. So at the crunch, he's usually pretty reliable.
Forty. $15. $22. $23. $30. $31.
I was saying before yesterday's match about Mark Allen, I forgot to say that it was in ranking events that he hadn't won a best of 11 or greater match in a ranking event, not including this week, but since the 2024 Tour Championship. He hadn't beaten a top 16 player in one of those matches. He's getting close now to beating 3 this week. It's amazing what a little bit of confidence can
30.
do. It gives you the belief. He looks very calm and he looks super confident. The way that he's taking these.
Yeah, he's also playing at a good pace, isn't he? 22 seconds a shot. You know, he hasn't got bogged down.
46.
Hasn't slowed down with Xintong coming back at him either.
47.
Black, and he should be 5-4 up.
$54. 55.
Well, it's been a great day, snooker, and there's still time, of course, for another deciding frame finish, but it's going to be up to Zhao Xintong to deliver it.
$62. 63. $70. 71. 76. 78.
Mark Allen turned professional as a highly rated 19-year-old. He had a great junior career. He'd won all the major amateur titles at the various age divisions. Tomorrow
80.
he will be 40, and if he wins one more frame, he'll be taking on John Higgins for another big title.
85. 90.
Another very quick break this. Can he knock in pink and black for his second century of the night? Sadly not, but
90.
a really good 90 play. Frame has been 13.5 minutes. They've really rattled through them. Yeah, good cue ball. It needs to be, doesn't it? Some of the long balls Zhao Xintong has knocked in tonight. That's why Alan stayed down there. He's sort of almost mentally guiding the cue ball to the bulk cushion. Alan needs this frame to reach a 21st ranking event final. He's won 12 ranking titles, 22 professional titles all told. Well, once again, the Allen safety has forced the error. So his first real chance to get the match won.
One. Four.
It's no great drama, not for now if the black doesn't go to left corner, providing he gets top side of the blue.
Five.
Or finds his way nicely onto a bulk colour. So the red just above and to the left of the black looks like being the one that he's going to play on. Can he somehow find his best positional shot to set the chance up? It's close to being perfect. Not quite, but very good.
Seven.
Just have to content himself with working off the blue for now. But that was excellent. Playing the cannon. He's moved the red, but the black's still no good.
8.
If the brown's on, he's got the optimum angle on it if he wants to disturb the pink spot rather than play on a single red.
Brown ball.
Let's see where he plays then. I like the cannon because it's such an inviting target. The cue ball's not going to go anywhere on contact. That's the shot, but he's missed the brown. Would you believe it?
Mark Allen. 8.
It may have been tight. Whether he could get through, we'll never know.
Well, he has left a red through the gap here to right corner.
1.
Yeah, here it is again. Let's just see him. Well, he missed it thin, so he clearly could pot it. What a miss. How costly will that be?
Well, from what we've seen since the interval, very, but let's find out because
6.
the pressure's on. Just because Zhao Xintong doesn't sort of outwardly show it, he's a human being, he must feel it like everyone else. But what he also senses is opportunity to do what he does, which is make big breaks and take frames out.
7. Third C. Fourth scene.
And that's where this will end. Just got a hair too much right hand side on the cue ball, and it's end of break.
Zhao Xintong. Fourth C.
It's a different kind of tension to the first semi-final where the frames were getting a bit dragged out and there were a lot of mistakes. Here you sense, because there are fewer mistakes, you know, if you leave your opponent in, that could be it. We've seen that tonight. It wasn't there though. Xintong didn't make much from that chance. Well, he rolled the dice, and it's not worked.
One. Set. Eight.
Yeah, just the deep screw cannon to the two reds together that's concerning him. He doesn't want to stick on the one that he cannons. But that's the shot he wants to play. But obviously has to get the cue ball releasing from it. See, he didn't want to stick on it. There you go, it's end of break, possibly. It's hard to tell with his body language. But that was the worry. He looks to the sky, and it's no good, it's end of break.
Well, Mark Allen, wherever this white ends up, it's going to feel so reprieved there. He must have thought that was 5-all. I mean, he's a big trouble, obviously, Snooker, but at least he is back at the table. You never know what can happen from here.
Yeah, it's funny that the shot that went wrong for Xintong, players almost get a premonition that I'm going to stick on that and not have a shot. Right. Mark then twice across. Should make contact within 2 or 3 attempts. Needs a big piece of this. Ooh, just about enough. Well played.
Well, a full of kiss on that red would have left him banging with something much easier. Oh, middle of the pocket.
You kind of knew that was going to happen before it did. And surely this time there won't be any mistake in putting the frame away.
And it's different to the Slessor match where, of course, he was 5-2 down. But again, he has shown his mettle. Zhao Xintong, he's brought the energy. He's put the pressure on. Just the very fact of what he can do brings pressure for opponents. And he has done it since the interval. So just needs to mop up here. And then for the second time today, we're going the distance.
Forty. 15. 21. 22.
Well, we mentioned Judd Trump's record in deciders this season. It was the 8th he'd played against Higgins, the 8th he'd lost, but the man who's won the most is at the table now. 15 Zhao Xintong has won during the campaign. Mark Allen, for the record, has won 11.
29.
Well, if you've had an all-day ticket, what a treat it's been. One last frame to decide who takes on John Higgins on Sunday.
$35. 36. 43. 44. 51. 53.
'So Zhao Xintong
53.
has been terrific, particularly since the interval. And this is to decide who takes on the great man tomorrow. There he is. No doubt he's watching from afar, as excited as anyone to see how this is going to be resolved. Yeah, I don't know who John would prefer to play, but I know one thing. I bet he's glad he played the first match rather than going through all that at night and then having to pick himself up tomorrow. It's already an open table, isn't it? That's why Alan keen for cover. I think this has been a terrific day snooker. It's been one of the best days of the season for me. The drama we've had, the excitement. Obviously, when mistakes creep in, the unexpected creeps in. It raises the drama levels for everybody, including the players. We've seen a lot of skill as well, some big breaks. And still, this match to be resolved.
That was nice to see Mark tap the table. That was an excellent safety shot. Does have options, but those options are the cue ball down this end. It'll be interesting to see if Xintong, how long he can keep this tactical advantage that he's enjoying right now. I know it's not what he wants. He wants to have a tear at a long pot, if possible, but you've got to be patient. Very good. All sorts of pitfalls with this one. Bump at the middle pocket, plenty of reds to avoid. He's played the cue ball down this end again. Just avoided the double kiss. He's just waiting, Mark that is, he's waiting on Xintong making a slight error that lets him return to balk. Does have a pot on and he can play it in some kind of way, a bit of a shot to nothing. The only red he'd be bound to leave, the one he's attempting, to left middle. Shot. And the blue is the dream outcome. Beautiful angle now to get on the next red. Mark didn't see that one.
Six. Set.
Alan watching on. Is this dashing natural talent also becoming a master of brinkmanship? All these deciders he's winning. And the guts he has as well, when he senses a chance to go for it.
Forty. 15.
That was nicely done. He'd be quite happy to get the pink back up onto the brown spot. Almost get it out of harm's way and just work with what he has down this end.
Twenty-one. 22. 27.
'The miss, has he gotten away with it? I think he has, you know. Yes, there's a red on to the far left corner, but that's all Mark has on offer. It was one of those shots, always looked like he had to cannon the black. He couldn't avoid it. And he didn't really have a look at the straight one down the left cushion, which he could have easily reached. So a little bit of tension that is often the case creeps in. Oh, Mark will be disappointed with that. I know we're in a decider, but that's not the shot you want to leave as a tempter. Not for this fella. I think, to be fair though, I mean, even for him, this is beyond bravery taking this one on. If he does. Because all sorts could go wrong. Oh, that's sensational! Wow!
Well, if he wins the match from here, this has got to be the shot of the tournament. Such a gutsy shot, so well played. Just about see this red. Yep.
9.
Context of it is what makes it so good. It was good anyway. It'd be good in frame one, in round one, but in the decider to get to the final, brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely, David. Let's have another look from overhead. I mean, the reds are tightly packed together generally there, but anything could have gone wrong at that pace. But in it goes. Still work to do, though. Lots of it. Oh! That was so wide of the mark. What a shocker.
Zhao Xintong. No.
Whew, what a day of tension. From the, I don't want to say ridiculous because we're in a decider, but sublime a minute or two ago to that. Mark breathes again. Can he find a good long red to get his decider going?
1.
Yeah, superb. Superb from Mark Allen. He must have feared when the long red went in from Xintong it was done, but this is his chance now to get right back into the decider. Oh dear. Just when you need it to go right. Looks like it's
6.
gone wrong.
Touching.
Yeah, I mean, worth another look. I know he's got a touching ball as some kind of solace, but that's one of the most unlucky shots we've seen all week long. Played to perfection, and I guess you are always relying on a bit of good fortune. So, couple of cushions, nestle in behind that brown near the baulk cushion. He'll get close to it, but can he nail it? You bet he can.
Mark Allen.
Lovely.
6.
Oh, what a night, what a day, full stop for this crowd in Telford.
Yeah, that's the one he's hoping to get to. But how does he find a path to it? I just don't think it's on.
And a miss.
As you were.
Mark Allen 4.
Kevin Roski with the replacement.
I think he's actually playing end cushion as the second one to get land on the one on the cushion. Wherever he played, that'll do, but has it on? It is, yes, it's on to the right centre. I'm afraid it was one of those, there was just precious little he could do about it. Had to trust to luck. He hasn't had a lot, but Mark still has to find a good pot. Surely he can't refuse the red. That is, wow, that is, I am shocked to say the least. He may still win, but surely that was his chance.
Foul. And a miss. Mark Allen 4.
Well, all three have nodded their head that they're in agreement. This is where the cue ball was. Yeah, he's made the slight adjustment. Oh, a little dream kiss. Little dream kiss. In behind pink. Oh, these little bits of running can be so vital at this late stage. 3 hours playing time, not a long match. Average frame time about 16 minutes. There is the average frame time. It has quickened up as the match has gone on since the interval. And there's the table time, 50-50, which is basically what this match is now. Toss of a coin.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Mark is in serious trouble because he doesn't have anything down the right half of the table to work from. This is serious trouble. I don't think he can get through past the pink, the right edge of them, because I feel sure he'd have played it by now. There it is, it's just not on. So it's twice across to the red down this end. Pace and line at a premium. It's gone square.
Foul.
And here's a good chance
Miss.
to right centre for Xintong.
Zhao
He
Xintong
won't
six.
refuse, surely.
One. Six.
Okay, it's not great, but the good thing about it is the pot to left centre, the cue ball is a natural, providing he plays it deep on the cue ball to get round the corner, back up table. It's not terrible, but that's providing he gets the pot. Albeit, in that picture there, you can see it's very thin, isn't it? But if he plays it, he should get his cue ball back out of trouble. Yeah, it's around the back of the black spot. Where's the cue ball? Oh, he's just okay, is he? Whew.
Zhao Xintong, 6.
Well, I wondered at the start of the night if they could match the drama of this afternoon. They're certainly doing their best, aren't they? Good grief. That cue ball hanging on. 35 in front, Zhao Xintong. He's had a few chances. When he came to the table, though, it wasn't straightforward. The black covered, the pink up on the brown spot. So having to work the cue ball. Well, no guts, no glory. He got so close to this, didn't he? Had to think about dropping white, always down to ball. Would have been on brown.
Got to play the pot here. Nowhere near, thankfully. Oh, wow. Has he left it? He has, you know. He's left it. It's about the cue ball now for Xintong. The pot is no problem. That red somehow or other found a way up over the right centre. I suppose if you were being hypercritical, gotten closer to the pot in the first place, that wouldn't have happened, but it has. Where does the cue ball finish? It looked okay until the last roll of it. And now this is extremely nasty. Even he might not take this on.
You just get the feeling he can't talk himself out of it. It's tough. Sort of ball he would get. But the pressure, the highest it's been all night. Every credit. Every credit. He's always trying to win, isn't he? When he sees the chance, he goes for it. And this is a serious opportunity now to put himself in the final.
No.
He's world champion and a player whose talent everyone gushes over, but this week he's shown a lot of steel as well. As he did in Hong Kong. Remember, he was 4-1 down to Mark Selby in a match there. Here he was 5-2 down to Slesser. He was 4-2 and 5-4 down here. This decider has been really nerve-wracking, but he's getting closer to getting over the line
15.
and winning yet another decider this season. He checks the scores and he'll like what he sees, because this red and Zhao Xintong
22.
will be taking on John Higgins in Sunday's final.
20.
It's been a super Saturday in Telford. Great viewing across both matches. Drama, the unexpected, mistakes, great skill, big breaks. And we're left with a fascinating matchup
30.
for the title match on Sunday.
31.
It's going to be some occasion, Al, isn't it, tomorrow?
Oh, I can't wait. My
30
favourite
hits.
player of all time against the best player in the world at the moment.
13.
You've got to say, this lad is sensational. The way that he played that black, I will remember that shot for a long, long time. Very few players, and I don't just mean top players right now, I mean in the history of the game, would have played that
44.
at this juncture of the match, but he did, and he played it as if it was over the pocket. Sensational performance. And I can't wait for tomorrow. And I'm sure John can't
50.
either. It's going to be a terrific occasion
53.
and match.
It really is, and Zhao Xintong will go into it feeling $1 million. Of course, he came into this event
56.
feeling great, having won the last one, the World Grand Prix in Hong Kong. Can he go back-to-back?
Zhao Xintong, 56.
So the final of the Players' Championship